I've always felt a little bit sorry for the Volkswagen Passat. You see, it's always been the bigger, slightly less pretty sister to everybody's favourite VW, the Golf. But just because it's a car that seems to shy away from the limelight, don't let that put you off. You see, Volkswagen's been building these since 1973, and that's 1 year earlier than it started building the Golf. So it should know by now a thing or two about how to build them properly. On the outside, the Passat's very much in line with the rest of the Volkswagen range, with some very precise lines, some very sophisticated details, and a very serious face. But it can look slightly odd from some angles. You see, it shares the roof and windows with the previous, much curvier model, and this new, very precise VW design language can sit slightly at odds. But the biggest problem is that it's all just a little bit boring, and it's not helped by all this chrome trim, which just adds to its slightly old-fashioned feeling. Yeah, I know that cars in this class don't have to be exciting, but every single one of its rivals offers a bit more visual stimulation. Sorry Volkswagen, but it feels a bit half-hearted. It's much more convincing inside with this simple layered dashboard, and there's some really neat design details like this analog clock, and as you'd expect from a Volkswagen, it's all really nicely made from very high quality materials. It's got a great driving position, and there's plenty of space both up here in the front and also in the back, but rivals such as the Ford Mondeo do offer that little bit more room. The Passat's actually got a decent sized boot, but because it's a saloon, you get this very narrow opening, meaning it's not as practical as its hatchback rivals. Then again, if you want a little bit more space, there's always the Estate. On the road, the Volkswagen Passat's pretty much as you'd expect. It's very refined, very comfortable, and yes, just a little bit boring. But to be honest, that's really missing the point. Volkswagen's gone to great lengths to make this the most refined car in its class, and if it isn't, it's certainly very close. There's no denying that the Passat's a great car in which to cruise up and down the motorway. The ride's very good, the engines are very smooth, in fact overall it's all very hushed. And if you opt for this Blue Motion model, it also offers the lowest CO2 emissions in its class, and that really should appeal to the customer car users it's squarely aimed at. The Passat's got plenty to recommend it. Great refinement, low running costs, and that badge. It's also comfortable, practical, and decent value. But the problem is it doesn't do anything brilliantly, and that means it's always destined to stay in the shadow of its smaller stablemate.